What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with breaking NFL news. Cam Newton. Yes, Cam Newton. It has happened. He has signed with a team, and not only has he signed with a team, but he has signed with the team. I'm talking about the New England Patriots. He has signed with Bill Belichick, the New England Patriot organization, and man, am I excited, because as you guys know, I am a huge Patriots fan, but not only am I a huge Patriots fan, I am a huge Cam Newton fan, and I have made multiple videos about this signing, this potential signing for the Patriots, and what it would mean for their team in 2020, what it would mean for Cam Newton individually, and what it would mean for the rest of the NFL. This is a move that in June, late June, going into July, that actually completely changes the potential landscape of one conference in the AFC. If Cam Newton is fully healthy and ready to go, and Cam Newton of old, and he comes in and he starts for the Patriots, this completely changes the AFC East. It completely changes the AFC as a conference and what we're looking at for who's making the playoffs, how it changes the Patriots season and outlook going forward. So there is a lot to discuss. I've already discussed a lot of it going into the pre-planning and discussing the potential of the signing and what it would mean. But my immediate thoughts are that this is just exciting right off the top for NFL fans and for the NFL in general. The Patriots are, at this point, before Brady, they were not. But now they are a big market team, and they are a team that draws a lot of eyeballs, and they're a team that a lot of people love to hate. So now you add Cam Newton to this team, a big ticket player, a big personality at quarterback, and it makes them a lot more relevant for the NFL, and it will draw ratings first week and on prime time. I believe the Patriots still have many primetime games this season, so it's absolutely awesome for the NFL. Now, it's not so awesome for Patriot haters, because this could potentially open the door for the Patriots actually being a decent team this year, and we'll talk about that as well. The second thing is, I'm kind of questioning the direction for the Carolina Panthers, because whenever Bill Belichick signs somebody, you always got to question, was that the right move by the other team to let him go? So that is also open for discussion, and you guys could comment your opinion on it if you still agree that the Panthers should have let him go, or you think that the Panthers should have kept him and went in a different direction. For Cam, though, I'm happy that he is going to a place where he is going to be able to be used correctly and be given an opportunity to get his career back on track. Obviously, this is one of my favorite players for the past, since he's been in the NFL, and basically one of the most unique football players, especially at the quarterback position, that we've really ever seen. So I'm going to be extremely intrigued to see how the Patriots offense changes, how the Patriots utilize Cam Newton, how much Cam Newton has left in the tank, and really what Cam Newton looks like in a Patriot uniform on Sundays, and how they're going to formulate their team and their game plans around him. So that's kind of right off the top. Do I think that this makes the team, the Patriots, a contending team? I'm not quite sure yet. We're going to have to dive into that, and we're going to have to see how healthy Cam is. I think a lot will be known come August when we see him in training camp, and if we can get some sort of injury report on him. Obviously, this is good news that he was signed now rather than later, because this probably indicates that he is somewhat healthy. You've been seeing him on Instagram working out a ton. He seems highly motivated. He seems like he has a huge chip on his shoulder, and he was willing to accept a contract that I'm not exactly sure the details. If you guys know the details, let me know in the comments section. But it was not a lot of money. The Patriots did not have a lot of money to start with. I believe they had the least amount of cap space in the league. So I'm interested to see how they actually formulated this contract to make it work for Cam. But that speaks to how much Cam is willing to go to a team that he believes will help him win and succeed. And I think under a coaching staff that is still one of the best in the game. So good for Cam, good for the Patriots. This is a win-win for both sides. The only loser here is Jarrett Stidham and potentially the AFC East and the AFC in general. But I think it's exciting overall, just from an NFL product standpoint, that the Patriots will at least be intriguing. Maybe they won't be phenomenal or great or anything, but they'll at least be very intriguing if they were not before. So I'm going to get to the comments really quickly here. Make sure that you guys Gronk spike the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL analysis just like this. Of course, also let me know your opinion in the comments section below. All right, so let's take a look at the chat and what people are saying. Let's throw up a pic of Cam there. Look at him. Look at him. George says Jared Stidham. Kevin Kent says, imagine thinking Cam is still good. Well, we saw that Chris Sims did rank him as the 10th, was it the 10th best quarterback in the league? I may not agree with that just based on health, but we know that he certainly has that potential. I'm intrigued to see and hear from Panther fans. What do you Panther fans think about this move? I'm intrigued about that. Michael says Cam ain't washed. I agree, Michael. I don't think he's done. I mean, if you look at his age, I believe he's only 30 or 31 years old. So he certainly has the ability to get back on track in his career and to get this going. And yes, I do love Cam. I do love Cam, so I'm going to think positively here. Durcan is a Dolphins fan, so he doesn't want Cam to be any good. So I understand why he is shutting him down. Panthers are dumb. Tyrell says, you think he's going to start right away? Okay, so this is what I think. That's a good question. I think that they're going to compete. I think it's going to be Jared Stidham versus Cam Newton in camp. And if Cam Newton's healthy and Cam Newton is the best quarterback, he will start. Simple as that. If Jared Stidham outperforms Cam or fits the offense better or whatever it may be, I think that Jared Stidham will start. I think it's going to be a pure competition for Jared Stidham. I do not believe that this means Jared Stidham is out of position to start. Okay? I believe that this just means this is a competition and the Patriots are looking to get the best quarterback they possibly can for this team. That's what I believe. Now, if Cam is healthy, I am sure he'll win the job because he's more experienced. He is a better pure athlete. He still has a very strong arm. And I think where Cam is very underrated is his processing before the snap. And I think that's why Cam Newton becomes very intriguing for New England's offense. Because if you ever watched Cam over the last few years, he got a lot smarter over the years from pre-snap and determining coverages and getting the ball out quickly. And I'm going to be really intrigued because Cam was never really given a Josh McDaniels-like offense. Maybe a little bit with the Turners, but that was when he did get injured, where he could just one read and throw, like swing passes, easy passes out of the backfield, get him in a rhythm and then allow him to chuck the ball down the field like he did in Carolina. Sometimes in Carolina early in his career, it was just like, okay, Cam, these guys are running 20 to 30 yards downfield, and if they're not open, you can just run. Like, that was a lot of Cam's career with bad offensive line play. And now if he is healthy, it's going to be intriguing to see if Cam will be in this offense like with easier reads. I'm sure his completion percentage will go up. And I'm sure that he could also utilize his athletic ability if the play does break down. I don't know if he's going to be purely prime Cam as a runner, but I do think that they'll involve some of that stuff. And I think that's absolutely the most intriguing part of this. Is how does Josh McDaniels work in offense and Bill Belichick work in offense around Cam's skill set? Because I do actually believe that Jared Stidham has some similar qualities to what Cam does well. Like, they both have strong arms. They both can move outside the pocket. And I do think, like I said, I think Cam has the edge in terms of the thinking of the game because he has more experience. But I think Stidham has the advantage in terms of knowing the offense. But the awesome thing about New England is the fact that New England will always, no matter the quarterback, and we've seen this without Brady. Matt Castle, we saw it with him. We saw it with Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw it with Jacoby Brissett. Depending on the quarterback, they are going to change their offense, and they are going to put the correct offense that they feel gets the best out of that quarterback. So they're going to see Cam's deficiencies, and they're going to just play to his strengths which I feel like that, sometimes in Cam's career that has been the case, but not always. So that's why I'm extremely intrigued about this. And I do think that this actually will help a guy like N'Keal Harry, because I know that Cam Newton throughout his career has been good with big receivers, including ones that weren't very talented, including Calvin Benjamin and Devin Funchess. And N'Keal Harry is a very similar receiver to them, probably even more talented than them, especially after the catch. So for you N'Keal Harry fans, that's a big signing. I don't know if Cam's ever had a receiver like Julian Edelman, who's kind of a safety blanket over the middle of the field. So that will be better for Cam. And I do think that the weapons just inherently get better because of Cam. Because they have a quarterback who can create after the play breaks down. And it's going to change the way that they play offense. I think they're going to heavily rely on their offensive line, their running game, and they're going to utilize Cam in play action and be tricky with his legs and what he can do as well. So, yeah, I'm very excited from this offense. And then we know that Cam has also operated on teams with really good defenses, and he understands what it is like to rely on your defense and not turn the football over and just play through your defense, because the Patriots, they will have a top 5 defense this year. So if Cam can just not turn the ball over and make a couple big plays with his legs and his arm, then this team will be set up to win a lot of games. So it's extremely intriguing to me. Dab says, I'm a huge Panthers fan, and you've got one of the best quarterbacks when healthy. Wish him the best. Thank you guys for all tuning in, by the way. If you haven't already, Gronk spike the like button, or Cam dab the like button, whatever you like. Derek says, Coach, he says, wow, according to Chris Sims' ratings, Cam's an upgrade from Tom. Yeah, I definitely think that Cam is an upgrade in terms of his physical ability. I'm not quite sure if he's an upgrade in terms of the mental processing and the recognition of the offense and understanding of the offense. Certainly not. But, if he is healthy, this is one of the rarest specimens in football history, and I don't think you can really debate that. Leon says Edelman is much better than Olsen. Dab says, I'm a huge Panthers fan. Oh, yeah, you already read that. Nicholas says, Bats go 9-7 or 10-6. Vash with the thumbs up. What's up, Vash? Tyree says, Ryan is better. Who said he isn't? John says, working with McDaniels on his footwork and mechanics. Look out. That's a good point. Also, John, I think that Cam has actually gotten better with his mechanics as his career has gone on. And if you actually watch him, like in those Instagram videos, just the little details of just watching him release the football, he's very consistent with his mechanics. I don't really think that Cam, honestly, his mechanics are like poor. I really think that he actually has pretty solid mechanics. I think it's more like people always get on him a little bit for accuracy and he throws the ball high. I think that's more because he's the way that he is built, because he's so big and like muscular that it's difficult to be such a flexible thrower when you're so big like that, and he's been relied on to run the ball so much that he's needed to be that physically imposing quarterback that he hasn't really been able to transform his body into a guy that is maybe more precise with his throws. I honestly think it's more that than it is actual mechanics, but good point nonetheless. Cam Newton, MVP Newton is back, says Connor. Randomness says, watch Cam get hurt and Stidham come in and lead the 20-year dynasty. Okay, so who said that again? Randomness. This is another great point. So why I feel this is a win-win, even if Cam is injured or cannot play, they have a quarterback that they already felt confident in and they drafted and they like. And they potentially, like I said, this is going to be a competition. So even if Cam gets injured or he misses a stretch of games, you have a quarterback in Stidham and then even a guy behind him and Hoyer potentially who, can play some snaps, not ideally, but he knows the system well enough and he played last year for the Colts. And you have Stidham who you like, so you could throw him in there if maybe Cam is banged up one game or can't play one game, or maybe he can't play 2 games or whatever. Stidham is going to have his own offense and the things that they'll do with Stidham, and Cam Newton is going to have his offense and things that they're going to do with Cam Newton. And that's why I believe that the Patriots were always the best landing spot for Cam, because obviously Bill Belichick, but it honestly is kind of crazy how similar the players and the actual built, how the team is built right now to the way that Cam succeeded in the past. This will be one of the best offensive lines that Cam has ever played behind. The running game is relatively similar to what he had there. Maybe he doesn't have the great tight end, but he probably has arguably just as good of receivers as he did like in his MVP season, if not better, with Edelman there, and potentially if N'Keal Harry can get it going, and Sanu as well, healthy. And then defensively, you know, he always had a good defense and the best offensive mind that he's ever had. So there's a lot of intrigue there with that, in terms of like, if Cam is back and Cam can play a full season, he's probably likely going to sign somewhere else in the offseason. And I think that's totally fine. It will actually be interesting. Like, if Cam does play well enough to deserve a new contract, would the Patriots extend him? Would he stay with New England, or would he go somewhere else? That's another question. But I just think it's interesting for the NFL and good for the NFL that Cam has a chance to succeed, because if he does and if he can succeed, then that's just another superstar added to the mix that we can watch, and we get to continue to enjoy Cam Newton playing at a high level. What else? Which years has Cam Newton been good besides 2015? Most of his career. I think the one that sticks out to me like right away is 2017 was an awesome year for him. He carried that team, and his rookie year was amazing. It was one of the best rookie years of all time. Do you think the Patriots can make the playoffs now? I definitely think they can. I would certainly not rule it out. I think they're instantly a top 5 team in the AFC. There's no doubt about that. If he is healthy, again, if Cam is ready to go week 1, then I believe that they are a top 5 team in the AFC. I think it's Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Patriots, Browns, and Steelers in that mix. And I think that they are probably ahead of the Browns because they're the Browns. And they're probably right there with the Steelers, considering they have the same situation going on at quarterback. So they're probably in the top 5 in the AFC. And I don't think that's crazy at all, considering they have one of the best defenses in the league. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They have the best coach in the league. I don't think that's crazy. Considering they won so many games last year relying on that defense, if their offense is just like the same, then they could go 10-6 easy. They went 12-4 last year. And they really, last year, the thing is, they really didn't win any games that were shocking. Like, they won the games that they should have won. It's not like they really upset anybody last year. They honestly played, like, last year, that was a pretty poor season for Patriots standards, especially losing in the wild card round. Oh no, 6 more Super Bowls for Cam Newton. Already got nightmares. Some people hating on Cam in the chat, like Lalo, who says Cam is a top 5 player in the XFL. Dab says, do you think that the ceiling got higher this season for the Patriots with this? Oh, of course. Not even a question. I think Jarrett Stidham, we have no idea what he is at the NFL level. Despite me liking Jarrett Stidham, again, we had no idea what he was or what he will be in the NFL. And Cam Newton is a proven commodity in the NFL. So, yeah, for sure. Throw another picture up there of Cam. Oh, they're easily on par with the Steelers, Durcan. It's not even a question. Great pickup, James. Great pickup for the Pats, says James. Will Cam's personality mesh with Bill B? Asks Connor. Another good question. Good questions, guys. So I believe that Cam's personality will mesh, and the reason being is that Cam is in a situation where it has to work. Like, if this doesn't work for Cam, his career is potentially over. Like, if he's injured again, or if he somewhat looks like a bad teammate or personality, Yes, and I think the biggest misconstrued element of Cam Newton's personality is the fact that he is not a competitor, or for some reason people look at him as like not a great leader or teammate. I think that's completely false and incorrect. If you know anything or followed Cam Newton for any period of time, this guy wants to win and he wants to be the best and he wants to be great. I think it's almost to the point where he has wanted it so much that he has looked like a poor loser or bad or like baby in the process. And I think that's where people, like, the media has always been negative on Cam more so than positive, and you can get to your reasons why. I don't know exactly why, but I just feel like Cam, the entire story of Cam's career has been totally false, and the personality that has been portrayed because he is somewhat charismatic is just completely false to me. I've never really understood that at all. So, and the next thing that we want to see is Cam Newton, also Odell getting traded to the Patriots. That would be pretty cool as well, I think. Give me a thumbs up if you think the Patriots should now trade for Odell. Anthony says, Mitch, Cam comes back at 100%. What are your predictions for Cam, I'm assuming? So for Cam, I would say 3,800 yards passing, maybe around 4,000, but somewhere between 3,800, 4,000. And then rushing, I would probably say 400 to 500 yards. And we'll say 5 touchdowns rushing and 25 touchdowns passing with 10 interceptions. So about 28 to 30 total touchdowns and probably around 4,300 total yards and around 10 interceptions. I think there's still going to be a relatively run-first team, and I think this also allows them to be more of that because Cam's also a threat in the running game, so it only opens up the running game more for New England, the fact that Cam can also run himself. Cam for fantasy football becomes very intriguing. I think you need to hold off on him right now, but if we're in August, and I think he would become a top 10 to 12 fantasy option at the position because, of course, he offers on the ground with his legs and he also offers with his arm. And now he won't be in Carolina in an offense that's more volatile. He'll be in a offense that's in New England more consistent, and you'll at least have a higher floor with Cam than you did in the past, more likely than not, from a passing perspective. From a rushing perspective, I'm not quite sure because I need to see him run first, but that's kind of the feeling that I do get from it. Ariana with the 2. Dawn says, damn, so many comments, guys. I'm trying my best here. Yes, Cam also has a chip on his shoulder, so that's why I think that it will work in New England because he has everything in the world to prove. I do think Sony will be better this year. I think he had a bad year last year, but I think a lot of that had to do with the inconsistency of the offensive line. But Isaiah Wynn will be starting from day one at left tackle, hopefully healthy, and David Andrews will be back, and he's arguably a top 5 center in the league, so that's a huge addition for them. Hopefully they don't trade Joe Thuney, though. Keep Joe Thuney. Keep Cam upright. That's what I'll say. Dab says, love your channel, and as a Panthers fan, I believe you got a good one in Cam. Thank you, Dab. Thanks for the support. Who will have the most catches on New England? I think I'd lean with Edelman there. Patriots Super Bowl contention. With Bill Belichick, I would never rule it out, but I probably am not picking them to go to the Super Bowl, if that makes any sense. Damian Harris also in the mix. That will be interesting to see if he gets there. Ultra with the $3.99. Thanks for the donation, buddy. Says, did you see the Pats losing a 3rd-round pick? No, I didn't. Was that because of the whole Cincinnati thing? I have no idea what happened there, so I'm not going to really speak on it. But I think that NFL kind of was forced to punish them because of the guys, like, I don't know what they were doing. And apparently they didn't get anything important, so it was almost a useless. They're losing a third-round pick for no reason at all. So if you want to cheat, at least get some cool information, if you know what I mean. How do I think that he'll do with the receivers? Asked Harrison. So I already kind of brought up that I think this actually helps N'Keal Harry a lot. Although I thought that N'Keal Harry had a chance to break out this year with Stidham, I feel like with Cam, there's a higher chance of that happening because I've always felt like Cam has been better with these type of receivers than with my webcam is kind of going crazy right now. I've always felt like Cam has been better with guys that are kind of bigger and taller and have a bigger frame. So I think that will help. If you look back at Calvin Benjamin, Devin Funchess, those receivers he's been good with. And I do think that helps him a lot, N'Keal Harry. So I think N'Keal Harry, his stock goes up. Sanu will probably be the third option in the offense. I'm intrigued to see him healthy because he really was only healthy in New England for like one game in Baltimore, and that was by far his best game. And for Edelman, I think Edelman's stock probably goes up from a fantasy perspective, but I would expect him to be between 80 and 100 catches pretty consistently there. Probably not as many yards, probably not 1,000 yards, probably around like 900 yards, but does Belichick change the offense because Cam is a runner? I certainly think they're going to change it. I think they're going to go with more of a big play passing game. I think you're going to see Cam on first and second down. I think you're going to see a lot of intriguing things from an early down perspective on like first down, where maybe they have some different kind of screens and utilization of Cam's legs. So I feel like there's going to be more play action on first down where you're booting Cam outside the pocket, and maybe you'll have like a quick option for Cam and then the potential to run. I think there's going to be more of that boot play action game that you see similarly in like a Kyle Shanahan offense. Because the thing about Belichick is he's never set on one offense or one thing that they do, because he has such a knowledge of every offense and every defense and he's been around the NFL since like the 40s. So this guy understands everything from the wishbone to the McVay offense to the Walsh offense, to the Perkins offense, which is the base of New England's offense. So he understands every level and every different scheme. So I'm sure he's just going to pick out everything. And then along with that, McDaniels is one of the most creative in terms of creating plays and creating schemes for guys and just drawing up stuff and easy completions for quarterbacks. So I think you're going to see higher completion from Cam. I think you're going to see the utilization of legs more from the Patriot offense in general. And I don't know if they're going to use a lot of like just his pure running ability. Maybe down the road, if he proves to be healthy, that you'll see that more and more. But it's hard to say like if he's going to be the same runner that he used to be because of the injuries. And Belichick will probably want to keep him as healthy as possible. So I'd say less reliance on Cam's, like from a pure running play perspective. Maybe in the red zone they'll utilize that more, but I don't see it like regularly utilized as much as he did in Carolina, just from a health perspective. Will Cam start the first game? Like I said, I think that it's going to be a competition between Cam and Stidham, and whoever proves himself to be the better player is going to get the job. I think it's going to be probably Cam if he is healthy, so I'm going to lean towards yes, but would I be shocked if Stidham got the job? No. How hard of a time will McDaniels have adjusting his play calling to Cam's mobility? I don't think he'll have a hard time at all. Now, the thing is, McDaniels, this is the intriguing part about McDaniels. And like or hate McDaniels, remember when he was in Denver? Do you remember the quarterback that he picked in Denver? This was not a good pick, okay? But, and I'm not going to totally say, because he did also pick Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker for Denver, but he did choose Tim Tebow in Denver, remember? So for me, there is a reason he chose Tim Tebow. I'm not exactly sure what it was, But I'm sure, looking back at that, there was a plan for Tim Tebow. I'm not exactly sure what the plan was, but I'm sure you could utilize Cam Newton in the same way that you wanted to utilize Tim Tebow. Along the same lines, if you guys remember that Thursday night game that Josh McDaniels was the coordinator in 2016, Jacoby Brissett was the starter. They utilized Jacoby Brissett's legs a lot more. Go back and watch that game versus the Texans. That's probably a point that you can look at in recent history of how McDaniels has utilized a guy that can run. But it's interesting because Jacoby can't run like Cam. So it would only be elevated to the next level and probably utilized even more. But again, I don't exactly know, but I'm just throwing out some things that I've seen in the past that may relate to what we can see in the future. Obviously, Cam is a lot better than Tim, but I'm just saying, like, that's something that we can look at and say, hey, McDaniels has kind of been intrigued with these guys in the past. I wonder why. And I do feel like part of the reason that Belichick signed Cam is because Cam has beat him twice, and he's seen what Cam can do with his legs. I do recall a play on Monday Night Football when they played the first time in 2013, I want to say it was, where Cam evaded 3 or 4 people. It got a 20-yard first down. One of the best plays I've ever seen from him. So you probably remember that if you're a Patriots fan. Yeah, 602 viewers. Thanks guys for joining live. If you haven't already, Gronk spike the like button or Cam dab the like button. Or maybe Superman. Whatever you want. Do you think that the Patriots are the best team for him? Yes, I think the Patriots are the best team for him because I think at this point in June, they're the most flexible from a coaching perspective. And I believe that they're the most consistent organization in not only football, but arguably all of sports. And whether that was with Tom Brady or not, the Patriots have proven to be successful with quarterbacks not named Tom Brady. So I do believe that. And I also have brought up the reasons why. It's a very similarly built roster to the teams that Cam has been successful with in the past. Mitch, are you going to buy a Cam Newton Pats jersey? So first I need to see him start week 1. Once I know that he is going to be the starter, yes, I'll buy the jersey because he's always been one of my favorite players. Cam Newton, comeback player of the year, certainly opportunity. If they go to the playoffs, he'll likely win the award, and he's the quarterback. Ethan says, could Cam fit with the Steelers? I mean, he could have, but obviously that's not the realistic scenario right now. But yes, let's say if Cam has a great season with New England and Ben retires, I think there's an open door for Cam to go to Pittsburgh. I do think that would be the case. This is the schedule. Who do they beat and who do they lose to? The Lions, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Giants, the Dolphins, Seahawks, Raiders, Chiefs, Broncos. I don't know if it's on the road or at home, to be honest, but let's just go through it. So teams that I think they can beat. All the division teams, I think they can beat at least once, and I think they'll sweep at least one of those teams, and probably would be the Jets. So the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, I think they'll lose to the Dolphins and Bills once. I think they'll beat the Jets both times. So that's 4 wins. The Chargers, I don't know what the Chargers quarterback scenario is like and situation. That might even be Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert versus Bill Belichick, not a good matchup. I'd probably lean New England there. Cardinals, that would be a tough game because of Kyler Murray and what he can do off schedule. I think that would be a toss-up. Texans, that's a toss-up as well because I do not believe in the Texans' defense, but of course they have Deshaun Watson, and they did beat them last year. Ravens, I think they'd lose that game. Jets, Bills, I already went over that. 49ers, I think they'd lose that game. Broncos, toss-up. If it's in New England, I'd go with New England. If it's in Denver, I'd go with Denver. Chiefs, they're probably losing, although they've played the Chiefs very well. And if Cam is Cam, then they have a chance there, more so than I think versus the Ravens. Raiders, that's a tough matchup because I think the Raiders can really run the ball well. But if the Raiders defense isn't so hot, I think that's definitely a winnable game, but I wouldn't check next to it that it's a win for sure. The Giants, I think they'll beat. I think they'll beat the Panthers for sure, especially if Cam is playing. The Seahawks, I think it's in Seattle, so I'd probably say that's a loss. Eagles, I think that's probably a loss. And Lions, I think that's probably a win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think they at least have 9 to 10 wins there. Look, and Rams. I think they'll beat the Rams. So that's probably 10 wins. I think I have them at like 10-6. What's up, Busboy? So I think I had them at 8-8 or 9-7. So I think Cam gives them 1 to 2 more wins. 10-6, 11-5. Who's winning the division? I probably still lean with Buffalo, but I do think New England has an opportunity. What if Cam fails halfway through and starts Stidham in a bad situation similar to Josh Rosen? Well, I don't think Stidham would be in the same scenario as Josh Rosen because New England is a much more talented team than what Josh Rosen had around him. So I don't really know if that's the same situation. Atlanta fan says, is this supposed to be the Patriots schedule? What schedule is this? Doesn't seem right. Yeah, it is New England's schedule. They play the NFC West. They play the AFC West. It's a pretty tough schedule, but there's definitely winnable games in there. Let's see what other people have. So some people have 10-6. Wow, I say 14-2, 9-7. A lot of 9-7s and 10-6s I see. Patriots might grab Antonio Brown. They've been working together. I think Brown's probably going to go to Seattle, to be honest. Could he get cut during preseason? I think the only way he gets cut during preseason is if he gets hurt and he is a distraction. I think both of those things need to happen for him to get cut. Because I think because of the contract, it's like less, it's like not even like $5 million probably. It's probably like less than, it's probably like nothing at all. So it would make no sense for them not to keep him even if he were injured going into the season and let's say he went on the PUP list. I think if you have the same prediction that you did with Stidham, you're a little crazy to me. Unless you think Cam's going to be injured. Panthers are a joke of an organization, says Nicholas. UCF Jaguar, what's up, man? I like your videos, by the way. Says, Patriots will be my favorite to win the AFC East until they don't win the AFC East. Fair enough. I'm a big fan of the Bills as well in terms of what they have on their team. So, and I think they only got better. So I think I'm leaning with the Bills because I want to be the underdog, man. But I wouldn't be shocked if New England won the division because they're New England. Ultra said Pats 7-9. Is that what I thought you had them at like 8-8 before. So like, how did they get worse? You hate Cam that much? They can only get better because even if Cam's hurt, Stidham's going to play anyways. So like for you to say that they're like the same, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. Unless you had them at like 5-11 before and I'm mistaken. Do you think that they'll make the playoffs? And if so, if they make the playoffs, they'll do something. Let's say that. If they don't make the playoffs, they don't make the playoffs and they don't do anything. Are the Patriots going to grab a quarterback in 2021? I think that's probably likely. Secondary is elite. Yes, it's the best in the league. How will Cam and Bill mesh, honestly, though, with the different personalities? I've talked about this. I think they're going to mesh well. I think the misconstrued idea of Cam Newton as not like of this baby or like drama queen or whatever you want to call him is just wrong. Like I don't see that with Cam. I see a competitor. I see a guy that wants to win. I see a guy that wants to be great. Even more so now with a chip on his shoulder. And Belichick's always searching for those guys with the chip on his shoulder. And Belichick is not. Another thing that's misconstrued is Bill Belichick. I think everybody that talks about Bill Belichick, they talk about him like he's some like ruler or emperor or something. Like There's a reason why he's been so successful, and that's because he relates to his players very well. It's not because he's an absolute dick all the time. Like, he wouldn't be a good coach if he was a dick. Like, he has to be a good relatable person to be a coach and a teacher. Like, I think you guys are watching a little bit too much ESPN. Do an early Super Bowl prediction. I don't want to do that yet because I don't want to give it away. Oh, Ultra moved the Lions in the playoffs. I think he said that because he called the Patriots 7-9. Cam is top 3, says W. Cam got to learn to that's another thing here. Lewis says, Cam's got to learn to pass to Edelman. Of course, he's going to have to get up to speed with the chemistry with his teammates and receivers. But I think having a guy like Edelman, just not even in terms of his talent, let's just strip that away. Edelman is one of the biggest competitors and psychopaths in the league. Like, this guy works very hard. So to have him, let's say, as a friend, and they can start working out with each other, that's going to only drive Cam as well. So if Edelman kind of, invites Cam to the workouts or whatever the process is there, or maybe Edelman joins OBJ and Cam or whatever it is. Yeah. Also, James White, Christian McCaffrey. Forgot about that. Who's the third string quarterback for the Patriots? Brian Hoyer. But he might not even make the team. If Cam is healthy and Stidham is there, Brian Hoyer might not even make the team. But I don't know. That would be more likely than not, there will be a third quarterback on New England because of Cam's injury history. But the hook Mike says Bill Belichick kept Ocho Cinco all year. That didn't exactly work, though. I'm not sure if that didn't work because of Ocho Cinco's personality or because he just wasn't good anymore. Does Cam change or the Patriots change their system? Simple answer, Patriots change their system. At least Cam will have a better O-line, says Braden Williams, better than he has ever had. What do you think? I agree. I think that's part of the reason why I think he could succeed. Who is going to stop the run? Good question. They did bring in Bo Allen. He was on the number 1 run D last year. I think the way the Patriots have built their defense, though, is extremely intriguing because they have all the pieces that you want to stop a Chiefs or stop a Ravens. They have so many safeties and corners. They're so fast now that in sub defense that it's going to be awesome to see how Belichick game plans. Like, they're much faster than they were last year. But I agree with what you're saying about stopping the run. If they play a team like they did, like the Titans again in the playoffs, or let's say like the Colts or the Raiders, those are teams that actually will give New England a hard time. But they're actually built to stop the better teams in the AFC. That's what I like about their defense. Do you think that they could trade him at the trade deadline? I think if they're not playing well and performing and he's playing well, then yeah. Coach says McDaniels with Cam. Can't wait. This is also big for McDaniels. I mean, he can prove with a talented quarterback that he can be different without Brady. And this could potentially open the door for McDaniels for another head coaching opportunity if he wants it. I know he's already paid like a head coach right now, but will they run a read option offense? I'm sure they'll run read option plays, but not a read option offense. There's a difference. Guys, if you haven't already, Gronk spiked the like button, and the biggest thing here, subscribe to the channel. The channel has really been growing. I appreciate you guys for that. And if you want NFL news, analysis, lists, whatever it is NFL related, subscribe to the channel. Definitely subscribe. All right. So, Cam Newton, baby. Well, everyone's asking about the running ability. I feel like that's why people are excited. Number 1 in jersey sales. I think right after Brady in Tampa Bay, he'll probably be in the top 3. Who's the starter? I think it will end up being Cam, but like I said at the beginning, I think it's going to be a competition. Will the Pats go to the playoffs? I'm leaning towards yes right now. Noble says Cam became scared with all them injuries. I'm not sure he has the will. Well, we'll find out. We'll definitely find out. That's a fair criticism. You're the best streamer I've ever seen. Oh, thank you. I don't know about all that, but thanks. Okay, Ethan says, I'm a Bears fan and Mitch is awful. Yeah, I understand if you're a Bears fan and you don't like me. That's totally understandable because I've been low on the Bears. Very low on the Bears. But Nicholas still likes me, so hey. Connor says OBJ trade. Let's get it going, Connor. Call him up. The Hook Mike says, should come on Couch Coaches podcast. We'd love to have you. Well, hit me up on Twitter. You can see it right there at Mitch Milani or Instagram and get in touch and we might be able to do it. If Stidham was so good, they wouldn't be signing Cam. Fair point. I also think they just realized that the value was too much to overcome or too much to pass up on, I should say, with Cam. Like at a certain point, this is Cam Newton, okay? Like at a certain point, and this is a side rant. This speaks to how stupid and just the lack of intelligence in the NFL. Like, I understand that you don't want to have a quarterback who's going to make your starter look bad in training camp if Cam is actually the real deal again. Like, teams are legitimately don't want to sign Cam Newton because of how good he is, not because of that he's hurt or because whatever the reason is. Legitimately, teams do not want to win in the NFL. Like, legitimately. The Patriots are one of the 5 to 10 teams that actually want to win. And they proved that with signing Cam Newton. Like, even if they don't think Cam Newton is that great, it's worth the chance. There's literally no downside to signing Cam Newton when he's on a 1-year contract and it's like little to no money and basically all the free agents are gone already. So, like, what's the problem? I don't understand. Why did the Bears not sign Cam Newton? Are they absolutely, like, out of their minds? Like, why? Some of these teams, they just don't want to win. I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. Dead serious. You guys need to realize this. The more that you watch the NFL, the more you recognize that there's only like 5 to 10 teams that actually want to win games. And the Patriots are one of them, and that's why they signed Cam. Because a lot of teams would be in the similar situation. They'd be like, oh, well, Jared Stidham is our guy, and we don't want him to look bad in training camp next to Cam Newton. So we're just going to sign Brian Hoyer and just play like that. No, we're going to sign Cam because we think even if he has a chance to be good, we're going to give us an opportunity to have this talent on our team. Like, seriously, Devin, why are you letting Bill Belichick get Cam? If Cam is anywhere close to what he used to be, that's a scary prospect. That's scary to deal with. You're just letting the Patriots become a contender again, just like that. What rookies or second-year players like Winovich do you think will have the biggest impact? If you're talking about New England specifically, Uche that they drafted, I think is going to have a big impact. I think Duggar will have an impact in rotation. Damian Harris, I'm intrigued to see in training camp if he's going to be their guy or like one of their guys at running back. Who else? I think Harry will be in the mix, obviously. I think their rookie tight ends will have a big role as well. What else? I think there's a lot of guys at New England, actually one I'll throw out there that's maybe under the radar, and he's not a second-year player, but Wise, I think, is one that I'd look out for a bigger role this year, given the way that they are looking to line up on defense and that they're going more speed and athleticism. I could see him moving more to the inside than playing on the edge where he used to play. So I think he'll actually have a bigger role than in the past. Name the 5 to 10 teams that actually want to win. Okay. Chiefs, Eagles, Baltimore, New England. I'm thinking. Those are 4. Seattle, 5. San Francisco, 6. I don't know if I can say the Packers, honestly. I don't think I can say them yet. I would say the Vikings. The Vikings, 7. NFC South, I would say the Saints and the Bucks for sure. That's 9. The NFC or the AFC, did I say the Eagles? I think I said the Eagles. Maybe the Cowboys, maybe. Pittsburgh, so that's 11. So maybe over 10. And I would actually say that Buffalo is getting there. Everyone else, I'd probably say no. Yeah. I think I said the Steelers. Not the Colts. I mean, they did sign Rivers, but like they've had such an opportunity to do more. I don't really think the Colts right now this year are trying to win a Super Bowl, but I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you think the Lions will shock the world? I do have the Lions going to the playoffs. I know people are going to call me insane for that. King says, do you actually feel like the Patriots will play and start Cam? Yes. Browns, I mean, I guess a little bit. I'm not quite sure. No, not the Cards yet. They're not there yet. Blake says, big fan, bro. Can you please give me a shout out? What's up, Blake Travis? This man's a superhero. He's got 2 first names. Peter Parker. Christopher says, do you think the Pats will go for some kind of wide receiver now with Cam? I don't think so. Like, I don't think anyone is there to be had. I mean, unless they're going to get AB. I think they actually feel comfortable with their receivers, which I'm not comfortable with them. But really, if N'Keal Harry takes a step forward, then they're all of a sudden actually decent at the position. Nah, Atlanta does not want to win. Glad you guys are happy. All right. I got to eat soon. I'll stay until 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So get all your questions in right now. Thank you guys for joining me. This is an insane amount of people. I don't think I've had this many before, but on a topic like this, it's very rare. So thank you guys for joining. And if you haven't already, Gronk spike the like button. Do you think the Patriots will make the focal point of the offense and build around him? Yes. I mean, guys, I know that we've asked this question 1,000 times already, but like, this is the Patriots. This is Josh McDaniels. I mean, the guy's a top 5 offensive coordinator in the league, offensive mind in the league. This is Bill Belichick. He always builds his offense, defense around the talent that exists on the team. He does not just force a system down people's throats. Who has a better year, Cam or Brady? I'm going to say Brady because the certainty in health. And I think that Brady has way better weapons. So I'm going to say Brady. I think Brady has a better year than he did last year for sure. Bobby says, been fun listening. Thanks for joining. Spunky, what's your question? Patriots about to trade for Odell. I'd lose my mind if that happened because you guys know also that Odell is like probably my favorite receiver that's not named Edelman. So you don't think it was just a power move? No, I think it's legitimately the Patriots are taking a chance here to try and have a better team. I don't know why why is it just a power move? Who is one player you would pair with Cam in the NFL? Julio Jones is pretty good with anybody, so let's go Julio Jones. When's the next Q&A? Maybe this week. Odell's always wanted to play in New England, and him and Cam are looks like close friends. I don't want Antonio Brown in New England. I'd rather him go to Tampa, to be honest, because I think the only places that can handle him are Tom Brady and Seattle, and that's maybe it. He's just lost his mind. I can't trust him. How do you think Stidham feels after hearing I think if Stidham is legit, I think he'll feel motivated by it. Thomas, thank you for the $4.99. Says, good job, dude. Did you already talk about the Pats penalty? I did a little bit. I don't exactly know all the details of it. But let me read the details, and we'll close with that. And we'll close with my final thoughts. Okay, so this is an intriguing part about the signing. So Adam Schefter says this is very New England. If Cam Newton plays well in 2020 and leaves as a free agent, the Patriots get back a compensatory 2022 third-round pick to help make up for the 2021 third-round pick that the NFL is taking away from New England for the videotape violation. And the fact that it is only a third-round pick that was stripped from New England means that it probably wasn't a very big offense, because they've taken New England's first-round picks away before for similar things, but probably worse. Josina Anderson tweeted, during free agency, I kept saying that Cam in New England was the best fit, so she agrees with me. That produced some reaction. Yes, and we can affirm again, as Chill also indicates, Cam Newton is not coming to New England to ride the bench, even if it starts out that way temporarily, should there be a full season. Odell Beckham on Cam Newton signing. He's been working out with Cam Newton lately, just texted me that he just talked to Cam and that he just told him congrats. He's been working hard and God has his back. OBJ added, praying that all his hard work pays off. Mohamed Sanu was absolutely giddy when he heard that Cam Newton news when we spoke on the phone. He barely knew what to say. Sanu also kept saying, wow, I didn't expect this. It was like he all of a sudden got a jolt of new energy, super excited. He was on his way to work out. Mohamed Sanu to me on Cam Newton agreeing to join the team. I knew something was up when you called. This is crazy. I think it's great. I mean, it's Cam Newton. He can help the team in so many ways. He's a big, powerful leader. All he has to do is go and be Cam. He's an MVP. And Mohamed Sanu played versus Cam in many games in Atlanta, so I really don't know what to say about the whole Bengals situation. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. Hey, thank you, man. I think Sony Michel will be that much better with Cam handing it off. I agree. I think this helps the running backs a lot. Who wins more games, Patriots or Bucks? I think the Bucks, but I don't think the Patriots will be far behind. Thank you, Rich G, for the $5. The GOAT. Yo, what's up? Thank you, Max. The Bengals. All right, so I'm going to finish with my closing thoughts on Cam Newton to New England. This is a great move by the Patriots. This is little cost, all reward. This is a player that, as we know, has been an MVP in his career. He has always been a top recruited player. Recruited highly in high school, recruited highly in college, recruited highly as the first overall pick in the NFL. All of a sudden, he gets injured and basically falls off the map. Carolina, that whole sour situation, they leave a bad taste in the mouth of Cam Newton. He gets released. He's not even traded. He's an open free agent for this long with the credentials and success he's had in the NFL, at the NFL level. And he's willing to take less to sign with New England and Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. This is the perfect fit because, as I stated at the beginning, it's the best offensive line he's ever had. Arguably, probably. It is a very similar set of weapons that he's more than not had. N'Keal Harry is the big frame receiver. He has a quick, shifty receiver in Edelman, which he's never really had. And Mohamed Sanu, who's obviously already excited. He has a running game. This year, I believe the Patriots running game will be better. He has the best offensive mind he's ever had. He has the best head coach he's ever had. He has one of the best, probably top 3 defenses he's ever had. So, and he can work. He doesn't have to be relied on to win the games by himself, which at times in his career, that has been the case. It's a great move for the NFL because it makes the Patriots a much more exciting team going into the season with primetime outings. People love to hate New England. That's exciting for people that love New England. People hate New England. It's a big personality in the sport of football that is going to bring and drive jersey sales. It's going to drive revenue for the league and just overall excitement and probably TV viewers as well. And from a personal standpoint, he's one of my favorite players in the league, signing with my favorite team. After Tom Brady, my favorite player ever, will always be my favorite player ever, leaves the team, goes to Tampa. We're stuck with Jarrett Stidham, who we know really nothing about. Then all of a sudden they sign a quarterback who is one of my 3 or 4 favorite in the league. That's almost as good as it can get from going from Tom Brady leaving to signing a promising quarterback. So everything about it I love. I think it is a high reward, low risk scenario for New England. It's a great move for New England. It's a great move for Cam, and it's a great move for the league. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the Patriots. Cam Newton signing with New England. Thanks, guys, for watching. Again, if you enjoyed, Gronk spike the like button and subscribe to The Bottom Line View for more NFL videos and reactions just like this. All right, guys. Peace.